So welcome to day 2 of Haymaking 2020. It's Tuesday the 23rd of June 2020 and it's about 20 past 9 in the morning. Lovely bright sunny start to the day. Weather forecast is still showing that it's nice and dry, sunny, getting increasingly warm this week, going through till Thursday. At the moment, one of the BBC weather forecasts is showing some showers on Friday afternoon, so we just have to watch out for that. So a quick summary of what happened yesterday. Got everything mown, plus an extra little bit for a neighbour, and spread out the larger field. So the plan for today really is to, this is the smaller field, is to get this lot spread out, try and pull in the corners, get the grass away from the trees where possible. That's not a big job, and probably respread the larger field probably once, maybe twice underneath the trees, and then fairly shortly go and spread out the 3 acres for the neighbour as well. So shouldn't be too big a workload today, just in terms of if everything goes okay, that should keep everything under control as far as the hay is concerned. A little bit of maintenance to do. It always pays first thing in the morning just to check everything over, grease what needs greasing, and that's usually the rotors on top of the hay turner. PTO shafts are usually okay. Check the oil level on the big tractor. It had a reasonably heavy day yesterday. And just make sure everything looks okay. A few little jobs to do in the barn today, just make sure everything's prepared. It always pays to really look ahead, make sure that if things gather a bit of a pace or circumstances change, something goes wrong, that you're not caught out trying to catch up. You really want the barn to be ready, pallets ready, and everything in place. So that's basically the plan for today. So we'll crack off and make a start. So it's 10 to 3 on Tuesday, and everything's going okay. I've just turned the small field. I had to pull out some of the grass from underneath the hedge. Just raked it out. The sun doesn't catch it. There's some oak trees there as well, which is a bit of a problem. So I've just raked that back because that was really looking quite wet still. So that should even that out. I've come back here to the big field and starting to turn this. This will be its first turn after it was spread yesterday, and it's looking really dry. I mean, bear in mind that it's only had 24 hours of drying so far, just over 24 hours. It's doing incredibly well. I mean, that's just an example. You can perhaps hear what it's like. I mean, people talk about 24-hour hay, and if the grass is the right type and it's thin enough, it is quite possible. It would be good if there was a little bit more breeze today, but it's not doing too badly. So I think the plan at the moment is I just turn this one more time, just do that now. Then it should be good to bail tomorrow. Because again, if the weather forecast is a little bit dubious for Friday, I mean, it's better to try and get this lot baled tomorrow. I think if we leave this any longer, it'll get too dry. So there won't be a lot of bales off it out. And then look to do the bit for next door neighbour on Thursday and do the small field. So the small field will get turned probably later on this afternoon. I think it's a heavy crop over there. It's a different type of grass, so it really is worth it's only an acre and a bit, so it really is worth keeping on top of it and just turning it a little bit more. The economics of it are viable. A very thin crop like this sort of weather, it really makes itself. There's no point continuously turning it, because what is it you're actually turning? You really want to be trying to lift up green bits which are stuck underneath. Well, because it's quite thin, there aren't many green bits stuck underneath, so it's just it would almost be a bit of a pointless exercise. But there is a danger in the thicker bits that there might be some green material left, so it is worth at this stage just going through and turning it over just one more time and getting those up. So we'll keep going. That's the plan for today. If everything goes okay, we should be on target. It's just a shame on Friday that the forecast is getting slightly worse. They're now talking about it possibly being sort of drizzly Friday morning, so the pressure's on a little bit now to make sure everything's definitely done certainly by late on Thursday night. So that's it for day two. It's about 5:15 in the evening. It's been a lovely sunny, clear, blue sky day and perfect haymaking weather. Everything's gone okay today. Hay turn has been alright. Just taking everything fairly steady. No big issues at all. And I think if anything, it was the fact that there was some really wet grass just underneath that hedge line over there, underneath the trees that needed pulling out. So that was all sorted quite easily. I think the thing you've got to be careful of is just looking out for these lumps, these patches where everything else is drying okay, but you've actually got some wet spots in there. It's not so bad when you haven't got really thick crops, but for something like this, you've just got to look for these little spots. If you get a bale or two of that, you'll know it certainly as soon as you've baled it and you pick it up. It'll be way too heavy. And putting that in the barn can cause some issues, so it's worth a little bit of effort to try and head that off. So the rest of it is fine. The big field, or the bigger field, that will definitely be ready for baling tomorrow. So I think the plan would be perhaps to turn this one again. I mean, this one's had it was spread this morning, but I've turned it twice this afternoon really because it was quite a lot thicker. I really need to get any lumps out. So this will probably get turned in the morning, turn my next door neighbour's field sometime in the morning as well, and probably roll up the bigger field, get that one baled, and cleared. That's pretty good. That should then just leave enough for us to just finish off on Thursday, because again the forecast is for potentially thundery showers on Friday afternoon, 30% chance at the moment, but if you can avoid that stress, that would be pretty good. So that's it. A relatively early night, which is what you need, because potentially you've got we have two harder days coming up. So earlier night, get a little bit of rest, and start off again tomorrow morning. I'll see you then. So thank you very much for watching, and there's an advert coming up which is about the book that I wrote. It's ideal really for farmers, and it talks about our UK economy, climate change, biodiversity loss and well-being, and it was written over the winter just prior to the start of COVID-19, and it looks at our negative legacy and what the actions that we've been taking and how that's going to fall on other people, both in the short term and the longer term, particularly our children and grandchildren. But I've used a scenario of a typical farmer, that everything comes from their perspective. So it's research based, trying to get the facts of each aspect, and then looks at where it was heading and where perhaps we could be heading to give us a better outcome. COVID-19 has upset things a little bit on some fronts, particularly the finances, but whatever happened at during the winter in terms of finances, it was pretty bad, and subsequently it's got even worse, but that doesn't detract from the book at all. So I'll leave a link and a picture, and if anybody wants to have a read, it's something like £10 for a paperback and £6 or less for the ebook. So have a look at that, and you might enjoy reading that. Okay, thank you very much.